My dear Christian, I will talk in a very important topic. Watching this video and achieving what I will see now is very important. Watching this video and achieving what I will see now is a matter of life or death. For that, I want you to hear me very well. Hear me with your heart. Don't hear me with your ears. I am sure if you hear me with your heart, my talking will penetrate your heart, because most of Christians are not arrogant, are not proud. If they know the correct way, they walk in the correct way. And if they hear the correct advice, they follow the correct advice. The last period and in this video, the last part in this video is the most important part. The last part in this video is the most important part. For that, you have to hear it, and you have to hear all the video to understand and to compensate and to understand what I will say in the end of the video. I will talk about very great and incredible scientific miracles in the Holy Quran and Sunnah, and also I will make very important spots about very important points in your book. Hear me very well for your benefits. The God said in Surah eltharyat in chapter number 27 in verse number 47. And we constructed the heaven with strength and indeed, and we will keep expanding. Which means that God said that He constructed the heaven with strength and He will keep expanding. What is the meaning of that? That He will keep expanding the heaven until the last day. He said that for more than 1,400 years. The recent science proves that the heaven expands with a very high velocity, which it reaches 30,000 light years every 1 second, because there are 275 million stars are created or born every day. For that, the heaven has to be expanded to accommodate these huge numbers of stars. And if the heaven doesn't expand, the universe will be burst. How the Prophet Muhammad knew this very important fact for more than 1,500 years, and he was an illiterate man, can read and can write. Did he say that from himself, or the God inspired that to him and teach him that? In the opposite side, this is a very great miracle which pushes hundreds of Christians to convert to Islam. In the opposite side, you said in your books that the great prophet Dawood, you said in your books that the God created the seven grounds and the 7 heavens in 6 days, and that he got very tired. For that, he gave himself a rest or a break in Saturday. Is that logic? To insult the God who has unlimited power and said about him that he got very tired. How he is a God and got very tired? But this is your book. Another very great miracle in our book. The Prophet Muhammad said in the hadith, if the fly fall in the vessel, dip all of it and then remove it, that one of its wings is a disease and the other is a treatment. The recent science proves that one of the wings of the fly contains antibiotics. For that, the Prophet Muhammad ordered us, if the fly fall in the vessel, to dip all of it and then remove it. When you dip all of it, it will drop these antibiotics from the second wing, and it will kill the microbes and the parasites which drop from the first wing, and it will clean and pure the vessel. There are more than great study in USA and Australia proved this very important fact, and now they produce antibiotics from the body of the fly for the treatment of many diseases. How the Prophet Muhammad knew that for more than 1,500 years? Very great miracle, which pushes hundreds of Christians to convert to Islam. In the opposite side, you said about the great prophet Dawood that he saw a very beautiful woman taking a shower. He loved her. This woman was married. She was marrying his big leader Uriah. He betrayed his big leader Uriah, and he made the big sin adultery with this married woman behind her husband, and he put her husband, his big leader, in a specific place in the army to make him killed, to get rid of his wife and to put his hand on his wife. Is that logic? To insult the great prophet Dawood and said about him that he betrayed his big leader Uriah and makes the big sin adultery with a married woman? How dare you to say that about the great prophet Dawood? That this is your book. Very great miracle. Another very great miracle in our book. The Prophet Muhammad said in the hadith, every human being is created about 360 joined, and he has to offer every day a charity or donation for every joint. His friend said to him, it's too hard to make that. He said to them, if you prayed 2 rakas in the early morning, it will be equivalent for all that. The recent science proved that every one of us is created about 360 joined, like Muhammad said, from more than 1,500 years. And this very important fact was discovered only from few years. How the Prophet Muhammad knew that for more than 1,500 years, unless he is a prophet from God? In the opposite side, you said in your books that the son of the great prophet Dawood makes sex with his sister. She was very beautiful and said to her, I want to sleep with you. She said to him, how much you will pay to me? He paid to her, and he sleep with her and make sex with her. And when the father Dawood, the great prophet Dawood, knew this illegal relationship, he got very angry, but he doesn't punish his son because he was loving him. Is that logic to say about the great prophet Sulaiman, the son of great prophet Dawood, that he makes sex with his sister? How dare you? But this is your book. Another very great miracle in our book. The God said in Surah An-Najm, in chapter number 27, in verse number 45 and 46. And he created the two mates, the male and the female, from a sperm drop when it is emitted. Which means that the God said from more than 1,500 years that he created the two types, the male and the female, from the sperm of the man. The recent science proved that the sperm of the man controls the type of fetus, whatever it is, male or female, and there is no relationship between the egg of the woman and the type of fetus. It was well known it was well known until a short time that the egg of the woman controls the type of fetus, until the recent science proved the opposite, and the sperm of the man controls the type of, which is equivalent to for what the Holy Quran said from more than 1,500 years. How the Prophet Muhammad knew that? Unless a very great miracle which pushes hundreds of Christians to convert to Islam. Another, in the opposite side, they discovered that the sperms that are feminine sperm and the male sperm, if the feminine sperm fertilizes the egg, the fetus will be female, and if the male sperm fertilizes, the fetus will be male. Very great miracle. In the opposite side, you said in your books that the great prophet Lut got drink wine until he got drunk, and then he makes sex with his daughters, and he makes them pregnant from him. Prophet, a great prophet, makes sex with his daughters. How dare you to say that? But this is your book. Another very great miracle in our book. The God said in the Holy Quran, in Surah Al-An'am, in chapter number 8, in verse number 125, whoever Allah wants to guide him to Islam, he make his breast or his chest expands to contain Islam. And whoever Allah wants to misguide him, he make his chest or his breast tighted and constricted as though as he is climbing in the sky. This is an example for the people who don't want to believe. Which means that the God give an example for the people who don't want to convert to Islam. They are like the people who are climbing in the sky, and they will feel suffocated. They can't breathe. The recent science proved that the percentage of oxygen decreases in the upper layers of the sky, as the Holy Quran said from more than 1,000 years. How the Prophet Muhammad knew that? Very great miracle which pushes hundreds of Christians to convert to Islam. In the opposite side, you said in your books that the God settled down from the sky and he walked in the ground and he meet the great prophet Yaqub. The great prophet Yaqub said to him, "Can you fight me?" He said, "Yes, I can fight you." The great prophet Yaqub fights the God and he beated him. And after he beated him, he held him from his clothes and he said to him, I will not leave you climb in the sky unless you called me Israel. He said, okay, you are Israel. Is that logic? The human being, although he's a prophet, beated the God who have unlimited power and hold him from his clothes. How dare you to say that and to believe that? But this is your book. Another very great miracle in our book. The non-believers said to the Prophet Muhammad, if you're really a prophet from God, split this moon for us into two parts and we will believe you and support you. He said to them, can you give me a charter, a strong promise about that? He said, yes, we'll give you a promise. He prayed to God and the moon has split it into two parts. But they said to him, no. Your magic, you charmed us with magic. This is magic. He said to them, I achieved what you want. Why you broke your promises with me? They said, no, it is a magic. He said, okay. There are messengers who will come after 2 days. We can ask them if they saw which you saw. This means that it is not a magic. He said, okay, because you know that the magic affect only the people in front of you, but doesn't affect the people far away from you. The messengers came and said, we saw a very strange thing. We saw that the moon has split it into two parts and was astonished. What is the matter? But the non-believer said, no. Your magic is very strong. It goes for a long way. For that, the God settled down in Surah Al-Qamar in chapter number 27 in verse number 1 and 2. The last day has been soon, and the moon has split it. And if they saw a great miracle, they don't believe. And they said it is a strong magic. And this is always the character of the non-believers. They ask for a great miracle, although they know that this man is a prophet, and they broke their promises because they are arrogant. And I hope you are not like these people. Once the astronomers dropped on the surface of the moon, they found a very long crack dividing the moon. The length of this crack is 125 kilometers, and the width of this crack is 1,500 meters, and the depth of this crack is 500 meters. They was astonished because they never saw a huge crack like this in the ground. They make studies about this crack. They found that these cracks impossible to come as a result of earthquake or volcano or any another thing. And one of the scholars of NASA agency said that our studies proved that the moon has broken in the past and then it's sealed another time, which proved without any doubt that the God has split the moon for his profit from more than 1,400 years, as the Holy Quran said. Very great miracle, which pushes sons of Christians to convert to Islam. In the opposite side, you said that after the big flood, in the period of the great prophet Noah, which destroyed all the world, the God gets very sad. For that he cried. For that he has pimple in his eyes. For that the angels went to visit him because he was sick in his eyes and he has pimple in his eyes. Is that logic? To say about the God who have unlimited power, that he has pimples in his eyes and he has, how dare you to say that about the God? But this is your book. You insult the God and you insult the prophets in your books. Another very great miracle in our book. A great scholar, a non-Muslim Japanese scholar called Masaru Emoto made a great book called Message from Water about the incredible effect of reciting the Holy Quran on the water. He found that much strange thing. He found that after reciting the Holy Quran on the water, the crystals of the water started to move and it make very beautiful structures, geometric structures. Like he take images for these structures and he put them in his book, and he make studies about the water after reciting Quran. He found that the benefits of the waters and the character of the waters it changed to be better and better in the treatment of many diseases. And he wrote all that in his book, Message from Water. Very great book. I will put the link of all that. I will put under this video 8 great miracles or 9 great miracles provided with links to prove what I said. All these miracles is a drop in a big sea from hundreds and hundreds of great miracles in the Holy Quran and Sunnah, which pushes hundreds of Christians to convert to Islam every day. 50,000 Christians converted to Islam in Egypt every 1 year, and 5 Christians every 1 hour converted to Islam in USA because of these miracles. If you don't want to believe until now that this Holy Quran is from God, I'm sorry to say to you that you are arrogant. Because if I told you to look at the sun in the sky and you told me that you don't see anything, this means that you are arrogant or are blind. You have to know that the miracles in the Quran and the Sunnah is stronger than the light of the sun in the sky. The strength and the greatness of the miracles in the Quran and Sunnah is stronger than the light of the sky. And you have to know that the Holy Quran, which contains all these miracles, said in Surah Ali Imran in chapter number 3 in verse number 85. Any person will accept any religion unless Islam will not be acceptable from him, and he will be from the big losers in the last day. And the Prophet Muhammad said in the hadith, I swear with whom my soul is in his hand, any person hear about me, Jewish or Christian or any another religion, and don't believe me, and don't believe the religion I came with, he will be one of the hell people. He will be one of the fire people if you don't convert to Islam. I made this video because I care about you. I love you. I afraid about you. I don't want you to go to fire. You will fall in fire and you will never come out of it. Don't destroy yourself. Don't lose the paradise. Survive for yourself because before time is off. If your soul come out from your body, you will be one of the people fire. You will remember what I say now, and you will blame yourself because you don't obey me, and you will bite your fingers and you will cry, but you will not cry with tears. You will cry with blood. And you will hope to return to the life for 1 second to convert to Islam, but the time will be off and the door will be closed. I have finished what I want to say. Drop under this video and read all the miracles which I have written, and press the links to make sure of what I have written. And after that you don't have any excuse, and you will be the killer of yourself if you don't convert to Islam.